Hello, I'm here with Vinney Dimasi, retired military. And Vinny has just finished working with me, learning the resilient techniques. And Vinny is here to share his remarkable story of transformation in just 10 short weeks of what he has accomplished. So, Vinny, welcome. I'm really happy that you're here.
Well, Julie, thank you so much. You've done quite a bit for me in 10 weeks.
You're very welcome. And so, can you share a little bit about where you were before we started working together?
Yeah, I certainly can. 10 weeks ago, I can actually say I was a pretty hot mess. I came into this, I was frustrated, angry with almost everybody. My family um, probably didn't want me around as often as I was. I think that I made a lot of bad decisions based on the anger that was going through me. And in 10 weeks, after learning certain um, programs, after learning some of the techniques that Julie has taught, I'm able to better cope with life's situations today.
Wow. People not wanting to be around you because of your anger. And when you talk about that, did that anger result in any anxiety, depression, sleep issues, feeling fight or flight all the time? Did the anger result in any of that?
Yeah, the anger resulted in all of that. And it was a vicious cycle because once the anger hit, then the fight or flight was started, and didn't matter who I was around. It could have been company, it could have been family, friends. Then I became like a different person, a different human being. And I wasn't at that point able to cope with understanding how my body was feeling. And I think, Julie, it was until, as I mentioned before, until you had brought up the fact that that feeling is like a drug. And it, my body, I think, needed to have that. And it, once I had it, I needed to continue like drinking or drugging. And, um, and now I know that. And I didn't know that before.
Yeah, we can literally get addicted to anger, or we can get addicted to anxiety. The body gets addicted to it. And then a lot of times we do these destructive behaviors or these avoidance behaviors. And so now having the awareness of that and how your body feels when you're in anxiety, anger, or depression, share with us, if you would, like, what is it that you're now doing to actually help you get from that anger, anxiety, depression into that peace and calm? Are you able to shift quickly? Is it something that happens over a couple of hours? Does it happen over a couple of minutes? How quickly do you get out of it?
Well, as you know, anger and the feeling of anxiety um, becomes overwhelming. It hits you all at once. And for me, there was no reason why, or there was a reason why, but I couldn't figure it out. I never had the abilities to understand why I became overwhelmed with this sudden rash of anxiety that I couldn't deal. I didn't know how to deal with it. And now, learning the techniques that you had taught over the past 10 weeks, I'm able to better cope with it. I'm absolutely better able to bring my anxieties down at a much quicker rate. Um, and again, a lot of it has to do with the breathing techniques that you had taught me over the past few weeks that we have been together.
I remember you saying that when you started, you were at like a level 10 out of 10 in anxiety. And in just 10 short weeks, you're to a level 4 anxiety in just 10 weeks, that you can control the anxiety versus the anxiety having control over you. Pretty remarkable.
It has taken an understanding of anxiety to be able to do that. And I think because of the teachings that you had, you brought to my attention the ability to control it. And that's a big deal for me because, as I mentioned even before, I think that, had I not learned these techniques, I could wind up in jail or even worse.
So what have you done in the past to try to fix this? Because it sounds like you've had this for a very long time. So what have you done in the past?
I have, I've been seeing therapists for most of my life, and I take medication. I've taken Valium for many years, and I've been on, Valium I'm on now, but I've taken antidepressants, anti-anxiety meds for many, many, many years. And now it seems to me that I'm taking fewer and fewer of them over the past 10 weeks or the sessions that we've had.
Sounds like you're not codependent on the Valium anymore or the medications, that before you take them, you're able to do the self-regulation technique to give yourself what your body and brain need before you decide to take any medications. Am I hearing that correctly?
Before I need to take a pill, I would stop and think, why am I taking it? Why am I having these anxieties? And then I would start the breathing techniques. And that would, and again, if I still need one, I'll reach for it and I'll take it if I have to. And I know that it's there, but I know that I can probably do without it as long as I give myself a couple of minutes and breathe.
Wow. Really amazing that you can walk yourself out of anxiety and depression. And I remember when you first came into, when we started working together, you said your sleep wasn't very good. And if you woke up during the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep, you would take a Valium. Can you talk a little bit about how your sleep has changed since we've been working together?
I think that my sleep has become better because I'm less anxious as I go to bed. And it took me a long time to get to sleep because I had many different things running through my head, through life's events over a lifetime of events. And it seems like, it used to take me hours to get to sleep. And then I would wake up during the night and then I would have trouble falling back to sleep. So my sleep would be interrupted. And I would usually have to take a Valium to get back to sleep. And now I feel that I'm less anxious. I go to bed, I can fall asleep. And if I get up at night, I find myself falling back to sleep without having to take a Valium or a sleeping pill or any sleep aid at all.
Really amazing. When you talk about this, the reduction of anxiety, the reduction of depression, being able to sleep better, what has that translated to in your life? Like, how are your relationships? How are your social activities? How is it being with other people? What's been happening for you?
Well, my social life has gotten better because I'm able to be around other people without the frustration of anticipation, if that makes sense. Just, what's going to happen? Do I got to put on a happy face? I don't want to go out. I don't want to have to carry on a conversation that I really don't care about with somebody that I really don't want to be with right at the moment. All that seems to have shifted for me. And I still get anxious and, I still have thoughts going through my head, but I'm more capable in handling them with the tools that were given to me by you.
You did the work, Vinny. You did the work and they paid off. And so, we just, in a short amount of time, you've made such incredible progress. So, how does this translate into moving forward? How are you going to use these tools moving forward?
Well, I think that with these tools, I can move forward because I know that 10 weeks ago, I was in a completely different place for me. And I'm not saying that I was in such a deep hole that I couldn't get myself out of, but I was in such a hole that maybe I didn't want to get out of. I didn't feel like getting out of it. And now I know life has a lot of things to offer that I don't have to be a recluse anymore. And it's like this that we're going back and forth. 10 weeks ago, had you asked me to do this, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. And I know for a fact that if I did it, I would be frustrated just by doing this with you.
And where are you today?
And today I'm perfectly fine. Happy to do it for you because of what you did for me.
Wow, so beautiful. It's hearing your journey and where you've come in such a short amount of time is really the beginning. And what a true inspiration you are, because there are probably many people out there that are in the same place of where you started. And I think the hope is that in just a few short weeks, you can have a whole new lease on life. You can have a whole new lease on getting over anger, frustration, depression, anxiety. And it's just such a pleasure to work with somebody that is so committed, because it takes commitment and it takes practice in doing so. And you've just had a beautiful, beautiful transformation. And so, if you were to describe this to somebody that may be in the same place you were 10 weeks ago, what would you say about it? How would you describe it?
I would probably sum it up like this, that over, first of all, if you are anything like I was 10 weeks ago, I would recommend you taking a couple of sessions with Julie. Let her explain to you what she thinks she can do for you, the techniques that she can teach you, the techniques that she can teach you in such a short amount of time that you can carry on throughout the rest of your life with, and maintain a higher level of quality of life. Because I think ultimately that's what this is about. And don't think that you can't do it, because you can. You just need help. And once you can admit to yourself that you need help, that's the only time you're going to be able to get help. So, like I said, I recommend, if you think you need the help you do, reach out to somebody that can.
Beautiful. Well, Vinny, it has been such a pleasure working with you and seeing your transformation. And just know that this is just the beginning. All we did was shift your baseline from a physiological standpoint, from that anxiety and depression to calm and peace and presence. You're doing it from the inside out. You've rewired the autonomic nervous system, you've rewired some of the brain chemistry, and it just keeps getting better. The practice continues and continues, and you just integrate it into your life every single day. So I'm excited to see where you're going to be in another 10 weeks and then another 10 weeks after that. So congratulations on your journey. Congratulations on doing the work. You've had a beautiful transformation, and I thank you for sharing your story.
And I thank you.